Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to the SFC interviews here with Darius Charles now. So how's things, Darius? And, what should we refer to you as? Because obviously you played left back, you played left mid, you played centre back, you played centre forward. I think the only place you didn't play was in goal.
I mean, I like to be referred to as, a Swiss Army knife.
Okay.
So, man, that can do a multitude of things.
Yeah, you can certainly. You did play pretty much everywhere near enough for Stevenage, as I was just saying there. And I'm sure, to be honest, if you had a chance to play in goal, if you were needed, you probably wouldn't have turned that down either. So,
absolutely, I would have loved that.
But let's crack on with it anyway. And when you signed for Stevenage, of course, the club had just been promoted on the back of winning the conference and. What's that like coming into a group that's already kind of settled and, has already kind of gone on and won something as well?
Yeah, I mean, initially it was quite difficult because I didn't at the time appreciate what it took for a team to get promoted because I hadn't been promoted. And in fact, funny enough, I'd actually been relegated with Ebbsfleet from the conference that same year that Stevenage got promoted. So it was a very rude awakening for me going in there, for the first time and experiencing a Stevenage or Graham Wesley pre-season,
And of course, you brought up Graham Wesley there. I was going to come to him in a minute anyway. And you spent, a lot of time working under him there as a manager as well. And, was that the kind of style that, did you like his style? Did you kind of get on well with his style of play?
Oh, I mean, I hated most of it, but no, I joke somewhat slightly, but no, I credit him for being, the best manager I've ever had in regards to, teaching me what it was to, create success for myself. I used to say what it was to be a man, but I think I had a very skewed idea as to what a man was. So now I say, he laid the foundations for me in terms of creating success or what success looked like in my life. And without him, I wouldn't have had the career that I've had.
And of course, on the back of signing at Stevenage, I think it was your debut. We went on and we won 3-1 that day. And I think, that season was the season. Of course, we got promoted again as well out of League Two. And that was a really good season, wasn't it?
I mean, it was great. It was great. It was. It ended up what ended up being like a baptism of fire for me. In the end, turned out to be like a triumphant season with getting promoted and experiencing playing up front and left wing and whatnot. I learned a lot that year, and the promotion was. Obviously, what we deserved because of the hard work and labor we'd put in, but it just felt right. It was a beautiful end to, a long, hard, well-battled season.
And of course, we touched on just at the very beginning there, just a moment ago, in regards to coming into a group that's already won something as well. And then, of course, to go on and be a part of that, where we go on and we win, the playoffs as well, and play at Old Trafford. What was that like? Obviously, I don't know if you actually played in the game at Old Trafford, but of course, to be a part of that squad anyhow. Yeah.
Yeah. No, not only did I play, I got the assist for the goal. So
that's right. For Moose, that's right. Yeah.
I remember it was very interesting because I picked up an injury in training the week leading into the game, and I really was touch and go going into that game, and I was. I would say I was probably about 65-70% going into the game, and playing was a risk, but it was one I was willing to take, one that I was pressed about a lot in terms of my fitness for the game, and I think I only ended up playing maybe 60-65 minutes because I'd done the job that was asked of me, and it was time for the rest of the boys to come on and finish it off. But as a United fan, it was obviously an incredible day out for me playing at Old Trafford, the team I support, and just obviously being in a do or die match like that. I'd never been in a game of such magnitude, so to even play in a game like that was just obviously incredible for me.
And of course, we'll go into when you scored your first goal for Stevenage as well, was against MK Dons in the FA Cup, and that was a fantastic day. I remember being there at MK Dons, and I think we were 1-0 down, and I think you were basically told to go up front, and then you got the goal, and then of course you went on and won the penalties as well, and that of course stopped them from facing off with AFC Wimbledon, a club that you know very, very well now.
Yeah, well, let me just say first and foremost that there's only one Dons, and they are AFC Wimbledon, the real and only Dons, I have to say, as Wimbledon alumni. But no, yeah, that was an incredible moment for me, coming on and scoring my first goal. I literally, was told, go up there, cause chaos, and see what we can do. And I ended up scoring, and I think we won that game on penalties, I believe.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that was a great moment for myself in terms of an individual achievement. So brilliant day.
And it would have been AFC Wimbledon and MK as well, wouldn't it? The next round, and that was the whole big bill for the TV, and then of course to go and spoil the party. We love doing that anyway, don't we? So.
Oh yeah, that was literally one of our favorite things to do: spoiling parties, stopping people's records, and.
Oh, I think we've just lost you for a split second, haven't we? We just lost you there. Hopefully, we're going to get you getting back in a moment because we just lost him there. But try and see what we can do. I'm not too sure what's happened there. The signal seems to have gone, or it seems to be going a little bit. So let's try and see what we can do in terms of at the moment. But anyway, try and see whether we can get him back. The joys of technology, as they say. But let's see whether he's no. So he'd be back in a moment. But the gist of things there was obviously he was just saying in regards to the MK Dons and AFC Wimbledon game. Where of course we went and we spoiled their party, stopped them from facing off with each other there in the FA Cup, and of course then Stevenage went on and we'll touch on when he gets back. We'll touch on the game against Reading, etc. as well, and hopefully that won't be too long. But hi to everyone that's tuning in as well, Kerry, Dan, Giggsy, anyone else as well that's about. And hopefully we've got Darius back now. I think we have. There you go, mate.
Have you got me? Brilliant. Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's all right, mate. I just held fort for a moment. But we were just saying about MK Dons and MK and AFC Wimbledon and the game there, but we stopped from happening. Yeah.
Yeah. No, as I said, we were always the heel. We were always the bad guys. We were always the one who like.
Oh. Nope, it didn't last. No, it's gone off again. Seems to have lost signal again there. Something's happening anyway. Try and see what was. There we go. We sort of are losing you a little bit. The signal is just we kind of losing signal a bit there. And the screen on your side seems to have frozen as well. Got you up twice now. Don't want to see your face twice there. There we go.
Yeah, oh God.
But no, that's fine, mate. Yeah, so obviously we were just saying about that game against MK. And then on the back of that was the game against Reading as well. Of course, we were narrowly beaten on that occasion. And then the following season, we went there again and you scored the winner.
Yeah, so I actually scored against them, 2 years running. So I scored in a 2-1 loss at home. Mm-hmm. And then the next year we got them, I scored in a 1-0 win. And so it was almost like, payback for the year before. But those were incredibly enjoyable moments,
And they're great games as well to obviously challenge yourself against somebody from a higher division. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that Reading team that we beat the second year was the team that got promoted to the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken. So it was, it was definitely a good scalp for us.
And then, we touched on the promotion from League Two into League One. And in League One, when we were in League One, we had some really, really big days as well and some great victories. The one that stands out is the Sheffield Wednesday one. And, we absolutely battered them. It was a Tuesday night at the Lamex and we hit them, what was it, 5-1, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was another great day for us. And, I can always look back on my times at Stevenage and say, man, we had some great times and some great wins. And obviously, you look how big Sheffield Wednesday are as a club and the history they have, and I know you're not playing the history, you're playing the 11 people on the pitch. It's just that, you do have to take these things into account at some time when you look back and go, wow, in terms of an achievement, it's a great achievement that little old Stevenage can beat the mighty Sheffield Wednesday.
And that's right, it was. Everyone looked on it still as little Stevenage, even though we'd been on and we'd won the conference, got promoted out of League Two. Everyone was still, not putting any respect on the name. And to be honest, we'd earned that respect at that time, which you just weren't getting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, of course, we touched on the game there against Reading. So, of course, from coming up to League One from League Two, that's quite not a big step, but it depends really, doesn't it? How sort of challenging was that for you individually to kind of move up for the levels and even potentially play? We were at Wycombe Championship football last season, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest with you, I feel as though the League One, League Two, and Conference. There are differences, obviously. It's just that the gap isn't that huge, and not only Stevenage, but you've seen clubs like Lincoln, I'm trying to think, Forest Green and teams like that, that have gone from non-league and then got back-to-back promotions or found themselves, bobbing their heads between League Two and League One. Just off the top of my head, I'm sure there's Cambridge, another one.
I think but another club, one of your old clubs, Burton as well, have been up there, and they were championship for a little while, weren't they? Yeah.
Right, exactly, Burton. So I think it goes to show that the leagues are getting a lot better and a lot more competitive, and as the sport grows and there's more investment made in it from a grassroots level. Between League One and Conference, you will see a lot more, or a lot more competitive nature in the league themselves. The step up to the Championship is huge because it's the first sort of jump that you take where financially it's a different ball game. In League One, there'll be clubs with huge budgets that have come down from Premier League and Championship. You look at League One now, and you've got teams like Wigan, Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland, Portsmouth, Charlton, just to name a few. In that league. So you will have clubs with big budgets. But when you get to the Championship, it really is a different ball game financially, and what that can afford you in terms of quality and talent is another level.
And it's when you look at how things are at the moment with the pandemic as well, and obviously coming out of that now, a lot of the clubs, the lower ended clubs anyway, for League Two and clubs that are in the conference, etc., are struggling. And even some of those other clubs, Portsmouth have had their struggles in the past. I think Sunderland have as well, and they're not sort of immune from it, are they?
No, absolutely not. I mean, as I said, like the leagues are so competitive now. You look at a team like Bolton that have just got promoted back to League One. I didn't even mention them before, and it's like it just goes to show how competitive these leagues are, and how financially astute clubs have to be now, because you can't just simply, I don't know, you have to spend wisely and do things in a particular manner, because it is very difficult now to get yourself up those leagues. So it's definitely becoming more challenging for those clubs, those big clubs, to get themselves out of that league. Sunderland have been in that league for, was it 3 years now? So
3-4 years, yeah.
Yeah, and they're a
Mm.
Premier League club, just as Portsmouth are. So it's not easy.
And that's where obviously Phil does a really, really good job for Stevenage, because he's very switched on, and he's able to manage things and kind of stay on top of things and in control really, really well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a great chairman, and I've been fortunate enough at all the clubs I've been to really to work for great CEOs, great chairmen who are financially very astute and appreciate the socio-economics of the club itself in terms of stature and fans and what they can do advertising wise and whatnot, and create a real sustainability for clubs, which I think is an underestimated talent, because you look at a club like Bury, who were
Yeah.
big spenders in the lower leagues for a long time, and now they no longer exist, unfortunately, for the fans who supported them. So I think we really do, as supporters of clubs, have to take into account and appreciate a chairman's ability to make a club run as well as Phil is doing at Stevenage.
And of course, we touched on before that we had some really, really good FA Cup runs, and I have to bring in the run where we got through to the fifth round, and we drew 0-0 against Spurs here, and even went 1-0 up at White Hart Lane as well, obviously with Jos's penalty, and had chances in
Yeah.
that game as well. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that, oh yeah, I mean, we had some brilliant times in the FA Cup there. Like I said, we played Reading twice, beat them the following year. We played Newcastle, beat them at our place.
Yeah.
Drew
Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
Tottenham that had a young Kyle Walker and Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale.
Went,
Yeah.
yeah,
Adebayor and
went,
Defoe, etc. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and then obviously go back to, Tottenham's ground and go 1-0 up, and then, unfortunately lose that one 3-1. But, in terms of experiences and highlights, like, there's so many to pick from in terms of cup competitions at my time in Stevenage.
And we had some, as I was saying, we had some chances. I think Robbo hit the crossbar, didn't he, as well? And
Yeah,
I think that would have made it 2-2, I believe, at the time. So
yeah, definitely.
So we definitely had plenty of opportunity in that game as well. And then, that's a great opposition to play against. And, we said about Tottenham, we said about Reading, Southampton was another one. I think Everton a couple of times. So you certainly played against some good players. And I'm sure, Gareth Bale will be right up towards the top of that list. But if you had to pick one out, who would be the best one that you played against?
Oh, I mean, that's a very, I mean,
because I know Everton
it's
had
not
Delafeu in, didn't they, as well, in their side?
that. Yeah. I mean, oh man, that would be so difficult to answer, because there's been so many that, like, I literally couldn't. Like, I'd be. I mean, I guess I would say Bale, simply for the fact because it was the beginning of of him becoming the player that we went on to see, that was incredible for Tottenham and go on to Real Madrid and create incredible moments in football and have a wonderful career. So I would probably say Gareth Bale for that reason.
But there is other names in there. I mentioned Delafeu. I think Southampton had a few in their sides that I think we lost 4-1 in the Carabao Cup as well. There's a few in all of those sides, and I'm sure you could probably pick one out from every side if you wanted to. So yeah,
absolutely.
So we'll move on to the next point now, the next question really now, which is in regards to the time where you actually played alongside Ronnie Henry in your time at Stevenage there. And of course, Ron was skipper for a while. Tell us a little bit about Ron and Ron's character, what he was like around the dressing room, the training ground, etc.
Man, what can I say about Ronnie Henry? What a great personality and character. I love that man. He just had a way about him that was so, I don't know, he could insult you, like he could cuss you in such a way that you could hate him and love him at the same time. And it's like he was brilliant. He was and he was his own man, and he was, he's set in his ways, but he's just a brilliant man. He was a brilliant leader, is a brilliant leader. And I honestly, like that's a brother for life, because he just created so many memorable.
Oh, I think it's just lost connection again there, just for a moment. Oh, what's happening here? Is it in connection? May have gone again, is it? I think, yeah. Let's see whether it. What's happening there? Is it? Nope. It just seems to have gone out again, just for a moment. Just have to bear with me until we can get him back again. But yeah, obviously we were talking to Ronnie as well, and Ronnie was my 50th interview, which was it was a little while ago now. But it was great stream, that one. I really enjoyed talking to Ron, and he was one of the ones that really was probably the biggest milestone so far, really. Yeah. But hopefully it won't be too long until we can get Darius back in, and then we'll just try and whiz through this and wrap it up as quickly as we can. But yeah, as I was saying, in terms of technology, sometimes it can decide not to play ball and be a little bit, temperamental, etc. But we'll get through it, and I'm sure, hopefully, I'm going to come to get this finished, and whiz through it anyway. But hi, Duncan, as well. Yeah, I know technology is not my friend today, is it? It's really, it's not liking me today. Yeah, hi, Luke, as well, mate. I'm sure he'll be back in a moment when he can. And then we haven't really got loads more to cover anyway, to be honest. We've kind of covered large portions of it anyway. And then we'll try and cover just a couple more if we can, in terms of sort of 5 or 6 more points maybe, and then we'll be done. Yeah. Let's just see. Oh, he's just left me a message here now to say he's having issues, I think. But yeah, I'm sure. Hold on a minute. Just going to reply to this message in a moment. So hopefully it won't be too long. He just sent me a voice message, but I can't really listen to it there at the moment. But hopefully he should be able to get on. He just left me a message there. But I'm sure he'll come back, and then we can just get through the last bit of it. Yeah. That was I was getting quite good there as well. Obviously, hearing the stories about Ronnie and that. And let's see what he's saying here now. Just hopefully, I might have to. I think he's just going to reply to me now. Because we've only got, as I was saying, there isn't loads more to cover anyway. Oh, hello, mate. There we go. No, so we haven't got a lot more to get through, as I was just saying. There's only probably 4 or 5 more points anyway, not loads. And we'll just try and finish it as quickly as you can get through it now, in terms of, and unless you're somewhere where you've got steady signal now.
Yeah, apologies for that.
That's all right. So yeah, go on. You carrying on with what you were saying about Ron. Yeah.
No, he's just a great guy, a great leader. Like, so many great moments with him. I'm sure we probably had fun in the training ground or whatnot. Everyone used to have nose at Stephen Is. That was kind of part and parcel of training. It's like training wasn't a good session if no one didn't have an argument or a tear up. So yeah, but no, it's just I love him to bits. I love him to bits, and there's no surprise for me that he, when he left Stevenage and came back, he was still winning things because he's a winner. Do you know what I mean? He really is a winner.
And you didn't play in his testimonial, did you? But I know you were there.
Yeah, no, I came on briefly towards the end.
Yeah,
I didn't play long, but I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then obviously that was. Go on.
No, I set San Louis up for the goal that he scored.
You set up the. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
That's obviously really good day, that one as well, wasn't it? And
great day.
Yeah, good memories of that. And of course, just to even be back with the fans at Broadway or the Lamex, I'm sure you probably just enjoyed that as much as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's always nice to go back to places where people appreciate you, and you've obviously given them something to appreciate you for. So it's always lovely going back to the Lamex whenever I had opportunities to, definitely.
And then so we touched on the FA Cup. And actually, you loved the FA Cup. I think you scored against Reading. I think you scored against Reading the second season. I think you scored against Doncaster. I'm sure you had there was certainly a love with the FA Cup there. I'm sure you scored in the game that we lost against Maidstone as well.
Yes, I did score in that game as well. Yeah, we lost that 2-1, didn't we? That was that wasn't our finest. Yeah, that wasn't one of our finer moments. We definitely got the hair dryer treatment from Graham that day. But yeah, no, the FA Cup is it's magical, right? And I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of magical moments in it. And yeah, I've scored quite a few goals in it for Stevenage, definitely as well.
I think you scored, and obviously we said about the MK one as well. Yeah. So we touched on that. Let's see, we kind of covered that part in regards to the FA Cup. So when you left the club, then obviously you moved to Wickham, and then got promoted there to the Championship as well, as we were saying, and then not Wickham. Sorry, it was Burton when you left Stevenage, and then AFC Wimbledon, and then Wickham. Yeah, and of course Wickham was when you got promoted to the Championship, and now back at AFC Wimbledon again. So how are you finding it being back there?
No, I'm having such an incredible time being back. What the manager Mark Robinson is doing is really innovative. It's forward thinking, and he's a genius. What he's created is nothing short of genius, and being a part of that is exciting, challenging, because I'm learning more stuff about myself.
Mm-hmm.
And more stuff about the players in the group and how it works. But it's great to be part of something brand new, being at the forefront of that. So I'm really, really enjoying every day at the moment in time. Like it's a great experience for me.
And of course, you're now combining playing alongside a couple of other roles as well. And you've got a few other projects on the go, so you're always busy, and there's always something happening.
Yeah, definitely. It's important to, as they say, and invest in, diversify your portfolio. And I delve into a lot of personal development, because I think it's important. I think the better you know yourself, the better decisions you can make for yourself with regards to things personally and professionally. And I'm a mentor to many, a cultural architect, which is obviously something I'm passionate about, because it means creating environments in which people can thrive and become more wholesome as human beings, because as I said, not only for myself, but better people make better decisions and make better establishments. So that's what I'm heavily invested into right now.
And of course, we touched on your time there at Stevenage. We kind of covered most of that, if not really all of that now. And we kind of have to just touch briefly a little bit on the current situation with the club as well. And of course, two of your former sides met in the Carabao Cup with Stevenage and Wickham playing out a draw, and of course the latter winning just a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, I saw.
and of course Alex Revell as well, the manager there. Do you know much about Revs? And have you had many conversations with Revs in the past?
I mean, he's been. We've competed against each other so many times in the past, and I don't know him well, but I do know he is a lovely guy. That's the one thing I do know. You come across a lot of players, and you build somewhat of a rapport. Competing against each other, and I know he's a
Yeah.
real, honest, genuine guy. I do wish him all the best, and I've seen that obviously they've got off to a really good start, which is great because the past few years, well, yeah, have been quite a struggle, haven't they?
Yeah,
Even
certainly
last
the
year.
season before last and the start of last season. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like hopefully now with him coming in and having played at the club and understanding the club, um, will allow him to, you know, create again something new and exciting for the club moving forward. So I've always keep an eye out for Stevenage and results, how they're doing. So here's hoping that they have an incredible season, and many more seasons to come.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of hopefully getting a promotion under the belt again, it'd be nice as well. And then going on and being able to kick on again as we did up the leagues before. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what everyone hopes for, right? Promotion. So I think for Stevenage in particular, because of the years they've had, really consolidating, a League Two and finishing in the top half would be a great season. I don't know the squad per se, so in
Yeah.
terms of quality, I can't speak on, but in terms of what progression for the club looks like, finishing in the top half would be a great achievement.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the group as well. I go and watch as often as I can. Anyway, I've been to all the home games so far, and the group is a really, really good group. You can see there's plenty of quality there, and you can just see when you're watching them play. The way that Alex and Dean Wilkins have got them playing. They're playing a good style of football. They're playing, the right way as such, if that's how you want to refer to it as, where of course you're keeping the ball on the ground, etc. And then there's plenty of quality there and people that can make things happen. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So we're just going to wrap it up with probably two more questions now. And the sort of penultimate one really is, of course, during the pandemic, Stevenage were really well known in regards to being one of the most or certainly one of the first anyway, at getting that sort of strong connection between the fans and the local community in terms of the deliveries and that kind of stuff. And that's that's great, isn't it? And that's really important to have that connection between the two and the community, the fans, the community fans and the club. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's important just in general that there's a great tie between community and club, because if you are a club or a business that's situated in a community, it's only right that you can help provide for that community in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So the fact that the club went out of their way to do so and create those bonds is a great thing for me personally, in terms of humanizing the club to the community that it's in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point to make as well. And of course, we'll touch off really. I think you basically covered in regards to the fans. Anyway, of course, you were sort of saying before about your relationship with the fans being a really, really good one. So I suppose we can kind of not really worry too much about that question anymore. But then I suppose just to wrap it up, really, is who were your own sort of idols or inspirations growing up as a young footballer?
So my favorite player of all time is R9.
Yeah.
But as far as anyone outside of that, I couldn't say. I mean, there's so many, Zidane, Scholes, Riquelme, Just trying to think who else I really enjoy. Like there's so many, and as I said, like I grew up in what I consider, the golden era of football, the late '90s, early 2000s. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what really inspired me to want to become a football player, because of the beauty of the way that they were playing the game. So that is probably, as far as idols, I don't have any, but in terms of inspiration, I would say that late '90s, early 2000s era was really what got my love for football going.
yeah. And that's the same with me, really, as well. And out of those names that you mentioned there, you certainly can't argue as top draw, world class players, quality players, and yeah, literally the whole of that group were all fantastic, to be honest. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But I think
definitely.
we'll wrap it up there anyway. So thanks for taking some time out, Darius, and apologies
No, my
for
pleasure.
anyone that's listening back to this because of the technical difficulties and the
All
light that we
my
were
fault.
suffering a
Sorry.
bit of as well. But no, that's all good,
Yeah.
mate. And yeah, best of luck for the season with AFC Wimbledon, and hopefully you can go on and have a really good one.
Thank you very much, and I'll be obviously looking out to see how Stevenage and Alex get on. So here's to two productive seasons and prosperous seasons.
Absolutely. Cheers, mate. Thank you.